Welcome to the show, everybody. Another BSN with Tokes episode number we don't know. We don't keep track here, but we have Jesse here. It's been a while, Jesse. What's up, buddy?
Not much, man.
Yeah, that mic up to your mouth, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
How you doing, bud?
Working, man.
Yeah. No, oh man, I thought you would retire already.
Living the American dream.
You know, everybody's retiring so fast today. It's like, what more could we ask for? You know, I almost feel like giving money back because I just feel so blessed, overwhelmed with all the generosity of my government taking care of us. Gonna retire at an early age now. They keep moving the retirement age down. What is it, like 60 now or something like that? Can't wait. It's going to be so nice to be 60 years. So that's less than 20 years away, you know. It makes me look forward to getting older, you know, so I could retire and utilize some of my time to do some awesome things and
Go fishing.
do whatever, you know. Do whatever, but it's nice that they're taking care of us, you know, and in case I get some crazy disease, some one-off thing, you know, I got free health care, so they're going to take care of me there. Absolutely. You know, even if I have to have, you know, triple bypass surgery, if I get lung cancer because I got to smoke because I work so hard.
Or maybe catch a virus that, you know, we didn't protect you from because we want you to work, motherfucker. Oh, wait. No, we're going to take care of you.
We got
Never mind.
Yeah. Oh, wait. We ain't got none of that shit. It's actually the opposite of all that. And not because we live in a third world country. We don't have any excuses. Nobody sanctions us. We just fuck up and give it. If we just bought the bullshit and just said, yes, we'll give it all to you. And we'll go back to work. And yeah, we trust you because you're rich to make good decisions for all of us. And we have a few centuries of that, and look where it's got us. And people still act surprised like they don't know what the fuck is happening. You know, they genuinely don't know. But still. They don't.
A lot of them don't.
They don't. What can you do?
The machine makes distractions too.
And the machine puts balloons in the air and does, you know,
colors and shit.
Shit, my lighter. Yeah, it's lots of distractions.
Mesmerized.
Lots of distractions.
Right.
So many distractions.
Look, our system of down. First you're hypnotized, then you're mesmerized. One way or another, we're gonna get you, motherfucker.
Yes. Yes. But I just think it's insane, man, that I never knew this my whole life, and now I'm just like, shit. I'm late to the party, and it's the worst party to be late to.
But you also got to think about the people who know this shit, but they can't talk to nobody about it, like, because it's like they can't reach them.
Yeah.
They're ignorant of the facts, so it's just like that kills their heart, that kills their hope, because it's like we're supposed to be brothers, but the system shits on you. And you open your mouth and say thank you. And it's like, dude, no, don't. You can't.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know it might put some sprinkles in your shit pot, but that's not going to help.
Yeah.
It's not good for you, man.
Yeah. I just can't believe that we all, like conservatives, right? Why the fuck, if you work a job for your living, no matter what you do, even if you're a small business owner, you should be a socialist. You should not want anything to do with those lying fucks and this lying, because Democrats are the same thing now. They're all lying.
They always flip-flop.
Yeah, that's the performative theater thing.
Yeah.
They interchange like what Kirsten Sinema and Joe Manchin when they were doing that interchangeable bullshit for the Build Back Better and the infrastructure plan and all that fucking shit, dude. It's just fucking bullshit.
Was Lincoln a Republican?
No, he is a Republican, but he's a Democrat.
You already know.
Yeah.
Back in the day, it was a flip flop back then.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. It's musical chairs, and it just and it keeps people going. What the fuck would they do that for? Oh my god! Not even thinking that they already had this figured out. They know who's voting how. That's why they didn't do away with a filibuster. That's why nothing makes sense. That's why gerrymandering. If you factor in everything, you can't walk away going, yeah, there's a true democracy. There's no way you can make that. If you factor in everything, if you wrote everything on a fucking list that was sketchy about our system, it would make third world countries' elections look excellent in a lot of places. A lot of places out there that we say that their elections are fraudulent and all that shit. Sorry, we don't look inward enough. It's all bullshit, and everything they talk about, like DeSantis right now with his old thing that he's talking about, it's all backwards. It's all backwards. The communist Cuba thing, get the fuck out of here already, man. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. We were just watching that shit. 638 Ways to Kill Castro. We were just watching that before we walked in here. He's like, what are you watching? And, it's actually a good documentary. It's only an hour long, but it's pretty good. But yeah, like, let the people have the right to self-determination and their own sovereignty. Let them do their own fucking thing. Unless some shit really goes bad, who the fuck are we to be interfering in all these people's shit? We don't have that ability. And if somebody was doing that to us over and over and over, and we weren't the almighty America, we'd be like, yo, motherfucker, could you just go away and let us deal with our shit? We're trying to figure out shit. Yeah, it's not pretty. A lot of it has to do with Western imperialism for fucking ever before that, but they have to develop. But that's the whole purpose, right? That's the whole thing. They're never going to let you develop because that's the system. That's imperialism. That's what it is. Imperialism isn't just always invading. It's the IMF. It's the sanctions. It's the proxy wars. It's the fucking dirty fucking death squads and shit. It's the
kill tapes we don't air.
Yeah. It's drone bombings. It's fucking all that shit.
9/11.
Yep. And now they're saying, that we're going to war with China. So.
What?
Oh yeah.
I ain't listening to these motherfuckers.
The fucking, well, if the military says it, that's important. I can't remember his fucking name, but he's a high-ranking official, and he said 2025 is when we're going. Prepare is what he said. Like how do we prepare? Okay.
World War III, huh? The more propaganda, the more fear.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
You ever wonder what they're sending up to space? They ain't no fucking weather satellites and shit. They're moving.
Bro, I've seen
that's
the last
SpaceX. That's U-Haul, man.
Bro, dude, no bullshit. The last month, I seen almost every other day a shuttle go up. And if I don't see it away, I see the traces of it. And I'm like, oh, shit, I missed it. There was another shuttle. Mm-hmm. They're just going up there. Like, I go to 7-Eleven all the time, but not for hot dogs.
Still sending you pictures of rocks. You dumb motherfuckers won't buy any of our shit. Can't get back here. Even though we're building their shit.
But that's it, though, right? It's a race to space. They're trying to get there so everybody else doesn't have to, so they can get the $1 trillion asteroid and all that shit, the $30 trillion asteroid with all the precious materials and shit, the newest materials. The materials change all the time, right? Like Africa, at first it was like gold, and then it goes to cobalt, and then it goes to, like, they have different things in different times of history. They go, oh shit, now we need this now for this particular battery for this car or whatever. Oh, now we need lithium. Now we need this. Now we need that. It constantly changes based off evolution of your industries and where we're at on the timeline for that. So now space, we're looking at asteroids that are, what I've heard, there's some of them out there that are worth like $30 trillion. That's what I've heard. I don't know.
Fucking put a price on a rock in space, man.
If it has that certain material you're looking for, I guess you could speculate. But that's crazy though, because
a dollar amount.
Because this is why I'm a socialist. Because maybe it's because I played team sports when I was younger, and I believe in utilizing your whole fucking team. And not only that, but if you do believe in a creator and all this stuff, you should think that, oh yeah, he would not want everybody just to worship money and leave people homeless and hungry and literally cripple nations and go to war over it and sacrifice
freedom
people.
And democracy. That's what we want to spread all over.
And then lie to everybody and say you're bringing them freedom and democracy, and you're spreading, saving people instead of using them as fucking sacrificing people is what we're doing. And it's disgusting. And they have justified it to themselves over this idea that it's degrowth that they're worried about. They're worried about degrowth. So they're just like, hey, well, this is just a normal thing. You know, these homeless people, they don't have jobs. When they do, 60% of homeless people actually have a fucking job in this country. I don't know if you know that or not. A lot of those people are children and so on and so forth. But that's how they justify it in their mind. And they're just sitting there going, you know what? It's a necessary thing. We just got to go through with it. Same way we bomb these brown countries and just justify it and say, hey, you know what? Fuck them. They're lesser people. And we act accordingly too, our ways, and then it rubs off, and people wonder how. Yeah.
Have you ever seen like the homeless people that stand on like the side of the exit at I-4 or something like that, man? And you just don't want to even look at them or something like that. But those could be your neighbors a month ago, 2 months ago, because
could be you.
Yeah. Could be you.
Could be me. Could be anybody, man. That's the way it is.
They play with their means of income.
Correct.
You know? They control it, even though it's supposed to be us. If smart people would unionize and fucking actually strategize, this should belong to us. So I understand the socialism perspective of it, man, because it makes more sense economically, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wealth distribution is easy. But damn, dude, like, if you gotta think about how lately the economy is fucking everybody. Like, all right, if you owned your home, all right, you're no longer in that mortgage bracket. You're not having to fucking pay them back. Now we're increasing your insurance and your property tax to force you out of your home. We want you to rent our shit, live in these little boxes that we control for you. Give us your fucking land. We own everything, motherfucker.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And we're gonna consolidate that shit as you guys die faster.
But at the same time, it makes you unsympathetic because they keep you busy because you're now on that little fucking hamster wheel trying not to lose your fucking home and shit. And so it's like your boy that just lost his is like, yeah, whatever, bro. Yeah. You know, I gotta keep it. I gotta keep it moving. I gotta keep it moving. You know,
exactly.
And this is not just like the fucking like neighbor down the street. This is family too, man. Families are turning against each other, abandoning each other. You know,
the social consequences are insane.
So I sometimes wonder, like, the word like association. Like, do people ever consider, is it American or is it capitalist? You know, is it exploitatist? You know, what is the American way? What is the capitalist way? What does the American family look like?
Well, you do exactly, but the capitalist way is not the godlike way. It contradicts itself. So that's where I would say, even if you are about that, well, then you're contradicting yourself here. Because don't you go to church on Sunday? I could have sworn I seen you with some, thoughts and prayers. I'm just saying, and I'm not knocking your religion. I support that. I encourage that. But I'm telling you to open your eyes and look at what else you're supporting as well. because they push capitalism through church as well.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's an imperialism, actually, bro. I mean, let's be real. Since the day the conquistadors, the fucking crusaders, hey, if it wasn't us spreading our freedom and democracy, it was us spreading our God. All right?
Right.
Bow to us, all right?
Right.
Don't even question shit. All right? Don't wonder about it. That's unfaithful. You'll burn in hell for that shit. All right? All right? We'll throw you in Guantanamo for that shit.
Yeah.
So,
don't give out the secret sauce.
And people don't consider this like it has to start soon. It can't wait, man. Like you have to start in your local communities, your workplace. You ever watch fucking Fight Club?
Yeah.
All right.
I love that movie.
In the middle of fucking, you fucking start bringing your people together. All right. Right? Because we're all working. We're all in the service industry some way, some fucking how.
Right.
We all rely on each other's fucking labor.
Right.
All right. So let's cut out the fucking middleman. He's worthless to us right now. And he's taking more, that we need to give him.
Yeah.
Shit. That's what your government's meant to do. It's supposed to work for you, but now it owns you motherfuckers and you ain't doing shit about it.
Well, you say that it makes sense. And I say it's even deeper than that, because not only does it make sense, but if you look in the future, right? Yeah, I mean, just pretend you're an alien driving by. If you believe in space, which I know a lot of people out there relate to this. Okay, outer space, let's go. We should be developing and all these things. And you see what Elon Musk is maybe doing or not doing. I don't fucking know. But we see the potential of the future. We see what the phone's doing. We see all this AI being developed. And what the thing is it really no man gets left behind? Or because what I see is everybody getting left behind and they got a different plan. And the godlike way, if you are religious,
The Ark.
I'm myself a spiritual, the Ark, right? But would be like, no, man. That's another step from homeless and hungry. Now you're just leaving them and ghosting them and going to leave them with robot police and shit to smack them around and
no resources
and maintain order while everything just falls apart.
They took it all.
And then just say, oh, they're all communists. It's okay. They can die. When they fucked up the whole ecosystem, the oxygen, and it left nuclear waste everywhere, and just capitalists are shit to shit, and just destroyed all our wildlife and everything. Did you know like 90% of all the wildlife is dead? Like that's ever lived. Like there's been species that have come and gone, and it's like at this point
8 billion humans.
It's pretty crazy.
I asked my girl the other day, are there even 8 billion rats? Have we counted that?
I'm sure there are though. Fucking rats, man, and sewers and shit.
Are they worse than us?
I'll never say anything's worse than us.
But at the same time,
we're intelligent, but we're also
best things ever who existed.
Yeah,
and we're just fucking squandering it all the fucking time, man.
There's people that are so egotistical that just think that how we're on the top of. We're just like, well, we're just the fucking killers, so we're the best. You're just like, great, and we're gonna fuck up everything, and this Earth's still gonna be here, and we'll be gone. That's the route we're going, man. And that's awesome. I do think that, because that's the odds, right? The odds are, okay, they're polluting this planet to shit. They're not really thinking about that. They're thinking about the next step. And their best people ain't there, because there's 8-9 billion people on this planet. So if you educated everybody properly and everything, then I'm sorry. I'm taking the odds on the field all day. You could have your Elons, Bill Gates, and whoever the fuck else you want. You could keep them, and I'm gonna take the field on that. And I'm telling you, I'm gonna find not only one Einstein. I'm gonna have millions of Einsteins out here developing their brain and really finding ways to look. We already see that's the crazy thing. We already produce enough food to feed the whole population. We already have enough houses to shelter everybody. We already have all these fucking things. It's the goddamn profit motive that kicks them the fuck out. We have 20 million houses in the United States unoccupied, and a fucking, I want to say it's 50%, but there's a big percentage of them that don't even, of people that own those houses that don't even live in America. And they're unoccupied. While we have our own soldiers sleeping on the fucking street. One third of our homeless population are soldiers.
But you know, it's fine as long as you put your little support your troop magnet on your car. You know, support our troops, little yellow ribbon.
Support them with food stamps. That's what they're getting right now.
It's a swastika, man. That's all
Are they
it
getting
is.
used? And that's coming from a place of love, because I don't feel like they should be out there.
No.
I don't feel like and you honestly, don't. And let me tell you this while we're on this subject, actually. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, bro.
Oh, you good.
We don't want this with fucking China.
It's the end. That's the end game.
If you're not smart enough, I'll tell you.
That would be a bad move.
We don't want this. And not because I'm saying that we can't handle it or anything.
You will be
China
drafted.
doesn't want it.
You will be drafted.
It's not what we want. This is not what you want. I'm not allowed to tell you not to fight. I'll get arrested tomorrow. Mm-hmm. But I'll tell you this. Fuck, I ain't going. I ain't fucking going. And we're going to their home field. And they've been planning this shit. They know we're coming. They're watching what we're doing. They're watching how we're using Ukraine to weaken Russia. They know we're coming. They saw Nancy Pelosi go to China territory. Taiwan is one policy, one China policy. I don't know why I'm fucking blanking there, but anyway. It was a joint communique, and there was 3 joint communiques in the late 70s and early 80s, and America recognized one China, and Taiwan was a part of it. So Nancy Pelosi goes over there and fucking it's against international law to go there uninvited. She goes. She takes a photo op with these motherfuckers and everything, and starts some shit over some microchips. And says, yo, it's fucking on, you know? And man, that's crazy, dude. It's gross to be imposing like that, and then to be like, come on, man. I know a lot of these people that watch this show because the algorithm fucks me, and it's only my friends that really watch this and shit, and a few other people. But I know a lot of you aren't like that, and I know that you guys relate to that shit and go, yeah, that is extra, man. Like, we're not even supposed to be over there. Like, who do we think we are, you know? And then this whole economic aggression thing that we say with China. Okay, economic aggression? You mean they're kicking our ass creatively, and they're out competing us in the business market, which you, by the way, said that capitalism is the ultimate competition and bring on the competition. So they're using capitalism on the lower end and a communist government to nationalize all their major industries and make sure that people don't take them and fucking run them into the ground. They have a better way of managing their shit. They have corruption. Everybody has their problems. But we're mad because they're doing good. And like we said just a little while ago, so we're going to go start a war because that's how we can weaken their economy. We can slow them down like that. But as a process, we're willing to risk, I can't even say a number of American soldiers, but it's going to be, if we all live through it, it's going to be so disgusting. It's going to be something that's just like, it's going to make Vietnam look like fucking.
I guess I seen the propaganda ahead of time, bro. Like,
Disney World.
I see the shit. Yeah, Shen Yun. Hey, you want to see this ballet, man? China before communism. They make it look all pretty. Like, yeah, okay. We used to fucking tie a woman's feet So it would fucking be the size of a fucking like hand. All right. Making shit like stunt their growth. You know, that was beautiful.
Yeah.
Shit like that. China before communism. It's a beautiful thing. Just watch this ballet.
The century of humiliation. We were a part of that as well. The Opium Wars. Yeah, it was not. Look at any country before communism. Whatever they say communism was, look at it before it was communism. That's why they had the revolution for communism. And while you want to shit on socialism or communism, it's a result of what capitalism brings. All they're doing is fighting back because they drowned and die and suffer and start diseases, by the way, which cause viruses, which get back to our country. That matters too, you know, since we don't create vaccines anymore that work because of the profit motive and that we rush the science.
Who knows what the fuck's in it? Because it has not done me no fucking good since I got it, bro.
Heart attack, man. See, everybody, you seen the fucking excess deaths all around the world?
Guess I'm going that way, shit.
No, just don't get any. You didn't get any more, did you?
Huh? No, just the two.
Just the two. Well, they said that if you're, well, you got injured, but they say that if you didn't, it's likely because there's a temperature. There's 5 things, if I remember correctly, to mix. And they got to do these at these places. You get your shit, and they were mass producing these things in Walgreens, Walmarts, all kinds of fucking places to go get your vaccine, right? You had to also keep them in a certain temperature. They said, dude, if they mess up one, and you had to shake them all up too. So you had to shake up the thing in a certain thing. They said there's a lot of these people that got a bunk thing, and that might be a reason why some of these people are still living. But people are still dropping dead, man. And that's not factored in the vaccine or whatever. They or if they had COVID, they take that away from those people. They're talking about these healthy kids now. And then they said that, oh, well, it was old people and now it's young people that are dropping dead. But it's because the virus mutated. And then you go, no. But that's a bullshit.
Numbers, brother, because the insurance companies now make doctors kind of report shit that's a fucking pre-existing condition before the virus hit, right? So if you're in the hospital for fucking pneumonia because you got COVID, all right, they're gonna go ahead and say it's a pre-existing condition. They don't want you to not report COVID right now. It's fucking crazy. So they're playing the numbers here and there.
Yeah,
it's fucking crazy.
Yeah. That's how they get you.
This is from a patient.
They accept. Look. It's so fucked up. This is how behind the scenes they work. They'll accept coverage for shit, but behind the scenes they'll say, "Hey, we turn them down for this, and you're like, what the fuck is my coverage good for then? So they find ways to not treat you to make profit. So it looks to you and me like, well, they got that coverage. It should be good. But realistically, behind the scenes, they're finding ways to just not treat you. And that's fucking capitalism, baby. Predatory. You gotta love it.
The way the system worked earlier, when the shit hit, right, man, you gotta think, there's like 100 million people that were insured, but they didn't want to go and get tested because that makes you fucking miss work. All right?
Right.
Unless the companies were incentivizing you to get vaccinated or tested, you weren't testing. A lot of people weren't. That's 100 million people that are insured, bro. There's like 30 million that weren't, right?
Yeah.
So
it's actually more than that now.
As fuck. Hell no. They're not trying to miss work.
Yeah.
They can't miss work.
Meanwhile, they're talking about herd immunity when it didn't even exist in the first place.
But that caused the spread because everybody's like, fuck, I'm
coughing
not
on each other.
Yeah, I'm not testing and we're fucking going to this whole, I don't know, man. America seems to be like,
there's no
constant grief. All right?
No. Let me, okay, go ahead.
There's 5 stages of grief. Realistically, bro. It's like denial, right? And then you bargain or justify shit. And then you fucking get angry, you know?
Right.
depressed.
Mhm.
But then there's acceptance.
Yeah.
And we like never get to that fifth one. We're always cycling in these four.
I think we're at acceptance, dude. People have accepted. How many people you talk to about actually doing something and saying, "Hey, man, you know about anything about revolutions and shit like that, and socialism?" And they're just like, "Man, I don't know shit about any of that shit." I mean, but even if they do, they're like, "What are we gonna do?
Yeah.
What are we gonna
What are we
do?
gonna do?
What are we gonna do, man? You know,
And
I got to get to work and feed my fucking kids. What are we gonna do?"
exactly. And yet they know the system is corrupt. And they're like, fuck it. At least I'm voting for the blue one, right? What the fuck? That shit annoys me.
That's when I say, "Hey, fuck off. Read a book."
Right?
Fuck, man. But that's what's so crazy. I mean, I could talk shit about Republicans, but it's the same thing with the Democrats. It's like, what are you doing? You see that they don't give a fuck about you. They have not served you. The problem with liberals is this is a rumor, but it is kind of true, man. They go to sleep. They feel like they know what the fuck is going on, so they check out and they'll vote when they got to vote, and then they go away, and they don't believe in that conspiratorial shit because it's like they've been, you know. I got this from my next show, but I'm going to say it anyway because it's so fucking amazing. Did you know the term conspiracy theory was never used in American discourse, and it was never printed until 1964 when the Warren Commission came out with the report, and it was used in the New York Times 5 times in that next fucking in their next 5 publications. And from then on out, it's like, how many times did they use it from then on out? And that just tells you that was a term that was invented by the CIA to deflect, and it worked. Just call them a conspiracy theorist. They'll be classified as a weirdo. That's why lawyers are flooded in the government. It's all people that were lawyers and shit, because you got to have that flip. You got to be able to flip the language and know how to say something another way to get the public to go, "You motherfucker." Just get that reactionary, reaction, because that's what the distraction. And it works, man. It's clockwork. And people don't think that's happening, but think about all the money behind it too. It's definitely happening. But think about all the reasons. They have trillions of reasons. Way many reasons to keep it happening. So it's happening. And it's been happening. And it's happening worse because the system is worse. Neoliberalism is late stage capitalism. And we are in the fucking thick of it. My friend asked me the other day, "Are we going to see another Great Depression?" I said, "Man, I don't know. I can't predict the future. But if I did, I'd say, hey, be ready for fucking anything." And I don't even know what that means. But just mentally prepare, I guess. Because we're so loose, right? We've been so beat down as a country. You see it on the roads, man. People are driving like shit. Almost suicide drivers is what I fucking call them, dude. It's like shit, man. People are losing it all around you. So not only is it dangerous, but it's weird because it's something none of us really lived through. Even 2008, 2009. That crash was different. It was Obama was brand new, so people were okay with people getting kicked out of their house, I guess, because Obama was there. But it wasn't like it was a recession, but it wasn't a fucking depression. And if a depression did come around, that would fucking suck, dude. Milk go up to $100 and shit and all this stuff. I mean, fucking bummer. But who knows?
Could happen.
Yeah, man. Yeah. But let's get positive. So, anyway, But I like that shirt, man. I just noticed you got a Sublime shirt on. Fucking great shirt right there. I'm back. But it's true, man. I think that's really what
So what this guy's proposing is bringing back troops for high speed rail.
yeah, that's
This
right.
is one
You
of the
said the
jobs.
question
Very
was
big
you
job.
said the question was if we did bring back a lot of our military, what would be your plan? How would you employ those people because they wouldn't be employed with the military if that would reduce a great number of jobs. How many people are out there? I would say there's fucking
Got bases all over the place, man. That's not even counting.
right. Well, first of all, I'd close a lot of the okay. So okay. Well, let's start there. Our military, we could cut our budget in half, and we still spend more than anybody by a lot. Right? That's reality. That's real. So
So
you have that going for
but
you.
the fear is if you cut military spending, that they're going to tell you it's going to be unemployment. Unemployment.
Right.
Unemployment.
Right. And we're closing a lot of those bases. We have 1,000 bases. You know how many China has overseas? 1. You know how many Russia has overseas? 8. We have 1,000 with black sites all over the fucking place. We can close some. So that'll save us money. Then once we accumulate all that money, we're talking about a lot of fucking money. That's $1 trillion. Half of that is $500 billion. Plus, we're closing a lot of sites that it's going to cost money to maintain those places. Let's say we just cut out a couple hundred of our 1,000 bases. All right. I'm sure we're saving lots of billions, not having to maintain those places. There's a lot of things, and that's so that goes to your high speed rail. So now you got government jobs. Our tax dollars cover the rest of it to employ these guys. They get hired by the government. I'm sure if we were building high speed rail like they do have in China and Japan and shit, where it's so comfortable, you get in there and have a damn cocktail. Getting to the other place, you're getting to like Miami in a matter of minutes. And from Orlando is where we're at. If you're watching this and don't know where we're at, Orlando, Florida, Miami is typically a 4-hour drive, ish. And yeah, these are called bullet trains, and they fucking flex, and they will put a lot of people to work, and it will take a lot of cars off the road.
Yep.
It'll take a lot of planes out of the sky. It'll and I know gas companies and oil companies don't want that, but guess what? The earth does, and we don't give a fuck what you want.
That's
We want to
where
get
everybody's
places.
going, right?
Right.
According to the propaganda and shit, that's where we're going. We got to be fucking green.
That's right.
You know?
That's right.
Carbon fucking.
Put your headphones
footprints and
back
all
on.
that bullshit.
Exactly. You're right. You're absolutely right. So that's part of it, right? So then with all these bullet trains, you're going to have all these infrastructures that have to support the bullet trains. So you're going to have all these new places getting built and developed with restaurant spots and shit. And that's going to keep a lot of jobs to build all these. And
But the fear machine has always told you that we need to have those troops out there to protect us and shit. So
right.
support our troops.
Well, they're lying.
So, yeah.
And that's a fucking myth.
But
We're the ones causing.
it
We're
keeps
selling.
it there.
Well, look,
It
when
keeps
we're
it
out there,
we're selling that shit
you're
to
right.
you.
You're right. Well, when we're out there paying off the Taliban so we could smuggle drugs through there, and when we're out there selling guns to terrorists and shit like that, like the fucking Taliban and shit, and Al Qaeda, which was the Mujahideen when we started funding them, and Bin Laden himself as a freedom fighter to take on the Soviets when the Afghanistan people, the socialists, were just, if I remember correctly, trying to get their girls to go to school. They wanted it to be right for girls to go to school. And we actually sent in that shit to crush that shit. And to kick out the Soviets, and that was in 1980. And then when we left Bin Laden high and dry, he turned around and was like, "Hey, what the fuck? I thought we were cool," because that's what we do. We don't give a fuck about people. We just have interests. But then all that shit turned around, and that's what 9/11 was about. He fucking was like, "Fuck these people," and so my point was, so we're out there. So you're telling me that if we're less out there, watch how much shit cleans up. They got less guns to play with and shit. Listen, it was a real story. The 70% of our fucking weapons that were going to Ukraine were not getting to the front lines. And CBS pulled it down. And CNN, I think, pulled it down. 2 outlets put it up, and then immediately it was like, I guess the editor wasn't there immediately. It was like, cut that shit. Cut that shit. Bad for business. No, hell no. Don't say that shit. That's these people's tax money, man. And that's the fucking terrorists that pop up 10, 20 years later that we go, oh, how these motherfuckers get these HIMARS missiles? How these people get all these fucking bombs? Oh, these high-tech gadgets and shit. Oh, we got to go fucking slaughter them. Here, do you need some more weapons as we use you as a proxy to get to these people or whatever so we don't have to kill Americans to do it? But China's going to be different, man. I'm telling you right now, China's going to be different. They're planning for us right now as we speak. And we're planning for them too, but it's different when you're going to their territory. And that's why I wouldn't want to be a fucking soldier, man. I'd be so scared. I ain't gonna lie. Shit, I ain't fucking, I'll tell you, I would be scared shitless. And I'm not saying that, I'm just saying that I don't think it's necessary. It's not. It's not actually, I take that back. I don't not think it's necessary. I know it's not necessary. China and Russia are not the enemy. If you don't know, you better fucking look at some shit. Because we're being sold some shit here. And that's the whole point of this. That's why in 1918, Eugene Victor Debs stood on a fucking table and gave a fucking speech to all these workers and said the very thing that it's Wall Street. It's these barons right here. They want you to go to war for them so you could fight a capitalist battle and get slaughtered for them. And it's no different today. It's, in fact, I just said it. It's Chinese aggression, economic aggression. Nothing says more full of shit than that. There's no threat. There's no fucking threat.
You know, the biggest flex would actually be pull them in, bring the troops home. That would be a flex, in my opinion, right?
Yeah.
That doesn't seem like something that, even if you do it, you're having some kind of like strategic like loss.
Right.
All right, that's a bigger flex.
Right? Yeah.
Because we're ready. We have fucking nukes. And it doesn't need to ever come to that. But, that's all we need.
Exactly. Defense.
So
you're right. That shows your hand, right?
Right. What the fuck do we need to do that? Be out there. And
it's another example.
Tell you this shit.
Yeah.
And that's where most of our money goes.
Yeah.
Into that bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Right. There's so many weapon manufacturers in the world.
Right. Correct. Right.
So that brings you to the other thing, man. Like in this country, they say the Second Amendment, right? You have the right to bear arms, right? But what can you bear compared to them, right?
Yeah.
You can never have that kind of revolution.
Right.
You can never beat them like that.
Right.
All right.
Not today in modern times. Hell no.
But at the same time, who is them? Because it's like, all right, if you support your troops and one of your troops that's your family. If
I take it back. You know
attack.
why? Actually, I take back what I just said. You know why? Because the people always win. I believe that was Lenin that said that the people always win because It's just times got to get desperate enough to where they all don't have nothing, and they say, "Fuck this, dude," and you lose at that point because everybody's there, and it's you just lose. You know what I mean? Like you get overrun by fucking people that are fucking hungry, and you just lose. It's person after person. There'll be people that die, sure, but they're already dying and they're desperate and they're hungry. They ain't got no bread, no shelter, no nothing. They just come and they take your shit. So that's what he means. Like at the end, the people always do win, but it's how do we prevent that from happening? How do we maintain society? How do we build this thing called socialisms, and take different avenues and create for everybody? Well, they knew right away they got to do education, so they made sure education was a fucking prime thing. They said they had villages, they didn't even have shelters, and all these people had books and shit. They're reading already. They took that shit very seriously. They knew that education is very top, and that's why like everything here is opposite, right? Like so they tell you they're giving you this thing called education when you go into school, and it's not the curriculum itself is not it doesn't focus on the things that would be more beneficial for the kids. It's more or less like a babysitting thing where you just go there and learn a few things, and it's more productive when you're younger. Actually, you're learning your alphabet, you're learning fucking how to count and shit. You gotta learn that shit. But when you get older, they teach you about the Great Depression, but they don't teach you about the labor struggle and all the shit that caused FDR to not have a revolution. He was just like, he was getting pressured by all the groups combining together with the labor struggle. Like, you don't think that. All people do is think FDR is a hero for what he did when he was pressured to do it. And you don't hear about that shit. But that's what made that happen. And why don't you hear about that? Well, the same reason my mom said that you'd be surprised what I heard when I was in school. I wouldn't even want to tell you, right? And then I heard people from like the 1930s, they were teaching a defeated slaveocracy in Northern America to kids. And so they thought that, this was their land, and how dare this brown man come walk around me in my territory, and segregation is just. That's how you justify segregation and all the lynchings and shit. So propaganda plays such a critical role in all this shit, man. And that's where it's like, I don't think people, it's such an insidious thing because you don't see it, right? You're just living your life. Like you said earlier, you're just busy as fuck. And you're just trying to get done with all your shit. But truth be told, it's like you're being hypnotized all the while, because that's what we're going to talk about in my next episode. But it's all there, and you think it's something important, but it's just what they're deciding to give you based off millions of things that they could be telling you about or doing real journalism on, worthy journalism. Like people that still don't have water in fucking Flint, Michigan, or, if a real journalist was there, they'd be screaming on the fucking throat saying, "Where's their water?" And fucking getting interviews and then saying, no, I need answers right now. Why are these people not having fucking water? Why are they fucking dying? Why are their medical bills not taken care of? Why is this? Why is that? That's real journalism. See, they're supposed to be the watchdog for us, but they're the lapdog for them. And that's what the fuck it is. Fuck journalists. They just get groomed like everybody else, like politicians do and everything. There is nothing happening. And that's what I was going to say earlier. Under capitalism, whatever you feel, whatever you think is going on, I don't have a purpose. You don't have a purpose. Most of us don't have a fucking purpose under this system, because we cannot have everything that we need to fucking make purpose happen. And that is the fucking brutal thing of this thing.
That is so fucking true.
It cripples a society, and you don't get the best out of your teammates. You cannot get your fucking team to function at a high level. And that is why I'm like, fuck this. That's not cool. We're all not, see, to them, we're all equal by all having absolutely nothing. And that's what they tell you is communism. But look, Look at the inequality. 6 people, you could fit them in a caravan. Own more than half of the entire fucking planet. What do you want to let that go to? Because it's only going one direction. Tune in next time, motherfuckers.
The reality, man. Do you think the troops would like shoot us? Think about
Well,
this.
when
If they control it like the way they do right now, is it possible to fucking have the same thing that happened to the fucking Germany happen here?
yeah,
Right?
absolutely, it's possible.
Imagine having the fucking hope for Russian or Chinese troops to win.
Well, what I
That
understand.
is terrible, man.
Well, what's
Do you
up?
understand
I know.
it could happen?
I know.
They own everything.
Why would you bring something like that up,
It's
man?
fascism. Come on.
I can't believe
We
you
gotta
would
talk
bring that
about
up.
it. If
Holy
that's
shit!
all
Why would you bring that
capitalism
up?
is, it's fascism.
I know. They call us Nazis over there, and that really bothers me.
That's the word association problem that I was talking about, man.
They call Americans Nazis. They say it's the Nazis that are doing it. I think they were talking about the Nord Stream 2 blowing up. And they were like, there's Nazis over there. It's America pulling the strings. You know, it's NATO, but it's coming from the Nazis over in America.
But communism is always sold as fascism.
And then we're over here going, there's no Nazis in Ukraine. When they're calling us Nazis. It's like, holy shit, bro. And that's who we're backing, right? So like Japan right now is loading up more than they did in World War II, bro. They haven't loaded up like this. They're fucking loading up. Japan is like it was World War II. So
I was thinking about going to Japan.
that's dangerous, man. That there's some fascist motherfuckers too, bro. They were the fascist fucking Japan motherfuckers. They're crazy, bro. And it's them and Germany and fucking Italy, fascist Italy. Fuck, man. Look, this is what it is, right? Because at this point in the system, when it breaks down, it's deteriorating. But the beauty in it is a revolution is born. And all those people that even when communism was in America, right, there was the card carrying members, and then there was all the people that were communist supporters, but they knew what was happening to communists, so they just didn't say nothing. But they were sympathizers. They were like, go get them, because they knew what the fuck was right. And they've always known it, and they just keep changing the fucking verbiage, and they keep changing shit up just to keep us constantly moving. And now we're in a state of panic because nobody really knows what the fuck tomorrow holds every fucking day. And that's not even an exaggeration.
So they still bring them home? That's a bigger flex.
Yeah, bring them home. That's the biggest flex. Well, okay. So a revolution happens, right? Do they attack us if they're coming home?
I never fucking knew we had a space force. Did you know about a space force?
Yeah, but hold on. Answer my question.
No. Did you know about a space force?
I'm glad we got off the Russian rooting for Russia, China, if it all goes down. But I want to ask you this: if they did have to come home because a revolution was going down here, would they support us or would they attack us?
That's what I'm saying. I've had this question in my mind forever.
Well, if I could talk to them all, they'd support us because I would bring up the food. Yes, I would bring up the 1/3 of them, our homeless population being them. That's not my fault. That's the people we're attacking's fault. And then fucking food stamps. You're on food stamps. You can't even feed your people. Oh, man, I'd be giving you all the money in the world. I wouldn't even have you in pointless wars. I'll give you a government job building high-speed rail that will more than cover your bills. I'll fucking take care of you and your family and give you the best benefits in the motherfucking world. I'll give you the education, too, for free. Hey, you know what? We're going to use all these tax dollars and put them where they actually go. Man, fuck these people. Dude, knowledge really is power, dude. And you start having plans and shit. And there is shit that could be done. But it's got to be a new system, man. Can't be giving it all to the investors. That's the system we got now. Our system right now is called trickle down, and it don't trickle at all.
It don't work.
It's just a big.
It's not built to work.
They ain't built to work.
It's a broken wheel.
They can't even get the most mildest reforms, dude. It's fucking bad right now. And they're still trying to sell you on all kinds of shit. They're saying, but AOC with their hands. But if you know the way that we have to do, you got to look at the macro, and you got to look at the micro, and then you got to know that most of the times, it's crazy because, I just put so much pressure on these people. They think I'm annoying. But I'm going to fight for the people, and I'm going to do my job, and I'm going to go in there. I'm going to vote exactly how the establishment wants me to vote every fucking time, and I'm going to cry sometimes about it. That's what happens. And then the squad sells out, too. And they all sell out. That's why reforms don't work. That's why social democracy doesn't work. That's why Republicans sure as fuck don't work, and I don't understand why anybody would be a Republican these days. And then that's why at least liberals, you could fucking just try to make sense that they think that, we agree on shit, but they just agree on a different way to get there. And it's like, no, you're just a pussy. You need to just fucking put that ideas away, because all reforms are schools for revolutions. They just teach you every time you lose a reform or get one, you pull teeth to get one reform passed, and then the rich class takes it right fucking away in a matter of fucking years or even faster, and then you realize that was all for fucking nothing. Those are schools to understand that the revolution is inevitable. So that's what that is. But people don't, that's what social democracy is, and they don't know that. They believe in capitalism somehow. You think you could reform it. They call it crony capitalism when it's just capitalism. There is no crony about it. It gets corrupted because of how it operates. The internal contradictions of the system is exactly why you get what you get. The fact that commodities such as wood fucking tables and all this shit fucking gets overproduced, and we got to go to planet places and extract everything out of the goddamn ground and fucking destroy all the trees we got left and then fucking ruin the oxygen. That is all part of overproduction, and you can't operate in a system that's predicated off infinite growth on a planet with finite resources. So we can't destroy everything. And that's why these people got to be held accountable. That's why we have to, literally stand up and just say something and say, hey, man, this isn't right, man. At some point, we have to find a better way. And you just don't have that way within the system. And that's the truth. That's the God's honest truth.
Well, the truth is it has to be organic. Man, because honestly, even if they switched it up right now, who is in control right now? It's always a puppet. There's always a puppet government right now going on because they control the resources.
Correct.
They control the labor.
There is a government.
There is a way to stop that cycle. You stop with the labor, right? You control your labor. You renegotiate. You redistribute the resources. That's the thing. That's so simple. It starts right there.
Right.
It starts with the labor movement.
Right.
That's what all that Marxist stuff was.
Right. Right.
All right. Victory to the proletariat.
Hell to the fucking revolution. You know, if it wasn't for that revolution, Hoover, what's his first name? Hoover. Fucking
Henry?
Herbert Hoover. Herbert Hoover
sure,
would have been the richest man in the world if it wasn't for the Russian Revolution, because him and this other guy, I'm blanking. It's like Geiger or some shit. Anyway, owned the Russo-Asiatic Corporation. And the Russian Revolution is what it was a mining company. And if it wasn't for that's why when Herbert was in office in 1929 to 1933 or whatever the fuck it was, he fucking said it was a revolution. There was people starving left and fucking right. People starving to death in America. Not a revolution, a fucking Great Depression. People starving in 1931, and this motherfucker said, My dream is to see the overthrow of the Bolshevik. regime in Russia and Soviet Union, and not to get out of this Great Depression and stop these starving people or find a way. It was like a fucking quarter of people that were out of work. You know, none of that shit. That's all they care about. That's all the rich class. And that's another example. That's all they think about. It could be a great fucking depression, and you can be completely fucked. And all they're thinking about is, man, I want to get them back because I want that money. Even though it's going to fucking put us in a worse situation if they had to go. God damn. It never ends. And now it's getting dangerous as fuck because China's powerful now.
It's not decentralized power, man.
How do you centralize power?
Decentralize it.
Decentralize it. You gotta educate, agitate, demonstrate. That's literally what you got to do. You got to teach them the fucking ways of William Z. Foster and fucking and get them reading W.E.B. Boys and all them motherfuckers and get them to understand it, man, and get it to sink, and then they can spread it to other people. And that's how you also establish your Einsteins. And fucking Einstein was a socialist too, man. He had an essay that said socialism is the way. You can read it. Albert fucking Einstein. I guess, you know, he didn't know what he was talking about, did he? So, you know, we just been fooled. We just been fooled, man. We've been fooled. Unfortunately, in America, the owner class has sold this narrative that this is the way it goes, even though, like I said before, it's internal contradictions. It crashes every 4 to 7 years. And right now we're looking at some bad shit. We never even really recovered from 2009 when the pandemic hit. People were still hurting, man. It's like, fuck, dude. People got crushed. 5.1 million families got kicked out of their house. It's a lot of fucking families, man. And nobody talks about that when they talk about Obama on the news. But it is what it is, man.
But the thing is, like most liberals, anybody, even the conservatives, they're going to get scared because if they, like I said, if it isn't organic and we don't actually control it, the people don't control it themselves.
Right.
And little, it doesn't matter if it's little, large, fuck.
Right.
It has to be organic because if it's just if you think about it, if they start just saying it's socialist or communist, and they could sell it to you the way they're doing now, they're taking up of the resources. So everybody's living in apartments and shit like that. They own private homes, private industries, private everything. They own all the fucking real estate. All right. So how are we going to stop that? Because that's reality. It has to be for the people. It has to be owned by the people. Right.
We're approaching the point of no return, I fear.
But
if we're not already there.
If it's communist socialist and they just sell it to you like that, it could always become that kind of like that choke, that feel that you have to give up your rights and you have to give up everything. Because what happens when you look at the wealth distribution or the land distribution map, all right, what happens when you actually have that map? All right, you look at it and see how you have to fucking redistribute it for your people and strategically what you have to do to bring them home, all that shit.
Right.
But will it feel like it's a dictatorship, right? Because if you say, like, right now with our resources, an apartment living is probably better than private homes everywhere because of the amount of maintenance or like private, basically like the private usage, like an AC generator, right? Of AC. How much does that really like take into the environment if it's just like single person, single home, single family?
Right.
And compared to just giving them a living space in a place like an apartment, where it's kind of like a box, bro. It kind of sucks sometimes. Some people will feel like that.
Yeah.
They're just another sardine can. They don't have that freedom.
Yeah.
But what happens if we really look at that map and we don't really have that kind of land? We have to reuse it.
Yeah.
What happens if we have to take
That's what
That's the choke.
that's what happens.
That's the choke that most people will be afraid of, and that's the liberal side that will
Well, I'm telling you
constantly
this
be
much.
afraid of that.
Tell you this much, dude. The guy with 6 mansions isn't gonna want to give up his fucking land, but it's too bad, dude. You're down to 1 mansion, buddy. That's just the way it fucking goes. And
that is easy to see.
and when you see enough
But what
of that,
happens when it's just a smaller family that's just in a right area, like
Yeah.
something that really needs?
we'll work out something for him.
Yeah, try to talk
We'll
them
do
out
what
of
we
it.
got to do. No, I mean it's
That's the hard choke.
yeah, man. Well, it's the impossible choke, and that's the resistance. Look, the revolution is always peaceful on our side. We are peaceful peoples, but the resistance is where the aggression comes from. So it's always the state that comes back on you and starts doing the crazy shit, assassinating you, fucking disappearing you, and all these other things.
But if it's always the state, no matter what economical,
But it's the corporations that are
right now,
that
it
are
is.
yeah. It's a machine.
But what happened?
Inverted
like
totalitarianism.
Over there in Russia, they feel a different way.
Because people say the
Let's
state
be
here,
real,
and it's
bro.
like,
The
first of
state
all,
is always going to be hated.
yeah. First of all, it's a capitalist state.
It's authoritarian, brother.
Yeah. Well,
All right.
it's because it's capitalist. Because people need to understand
Right
that
now
too.
it's
There's a lot of people that are like, oh well, you want to give the state power, and it's like, yeah, not a capitalist state.
But if it's a
very
socialist or communist state, it's usually
very different.
still an oligarch. That's what's happening all over the world, though.
No. See, it's just, how could you say that when look at China?
China is still under the control of a few central people, man.
Yes,
That's
but
how it always
what they're
works.
doing
They have a
is,
state.
but they're working and they keep their hands off. That's why they have the 4 biggest banks in the world, and it's all state owned. So they don't, we take our
But when
banks
you look
and
at
we
that-
let people own
All
them,
right,
and
tell
then they
me
make
if you
casino
don't-
bets with our
And
money.
you see that it's state owned. You just said state owned.
Yeah,
It's not owned by the people.
put it to you like this: America are the top.
Do the
10
people
banks.
own the state of China?
The people own the state of China. No, but their money,
Exactly.
they're doing good.
That's the problem.
Their progress is going up though, and
You
our
can't
standard of living is going
sell it.
down.
You can't
And that-
sell that progress here in America.
No, you can't even sell it at all because we can't know the truth about China. But what the other side is, here's the statistics. 800, this is amazing, by the way. You want some historic shit. 850 million people lifted out of extreme poverty. They have eradicated extreme poverty in China. That is a hell of a fucking feat.
It's true.
And
But the measures taken by the state to do so.
I don't know. I
All
don't
right?
know. I hear mixed reviews,
That's
man.
a
I
choke.
hear, yeah, but I hear
Because let's
mixed.
think about it.
Well, we take advantage of
Think
that,
about
dude.
the one-child policy.
Well, well, hold on now. Now you're using our thing against us now.
Hold
Wait.
up. It lives there. It
Hold
does. All right. But it's necessary. Look at their population. They saw it. And they saw the map.
Correct.
And they said, shit,
We
we're
have
doing too much.
We have to correct this, right?
All right. So
And they had
it
massive
happened.
poverty, right? After
happened.
coming off the back of the century of
But
humiliation.
look at
follow
them
me.
now. All right.
Right.
They took a look at the fucking map.
Right.
So what happens? I mean, how do you see that map? dude?
Okay, so I agree with you. That they use
For the
that
people.
to the one child policy to bounce back a little bit and balance it out. That is fucking
It
authoritarian.
happens, though.
It happens. So thank you. Okay, so we're agreeing. Hold on. And then just like that, use capitalism. They didn't want to, but they had to. The revolution was in 1949, and when Deng Xiaoping was in there in 1976, they said, "Shit, I don't want to, but we right now we do this. We offer the Americans the well-fed, well-sheltered, well-rested labor for a really cheap price, and we're getting their industries too. They're giving us everything because they're trying to get the best dollar, because if they don't give the industries too, another company will, and they'll beat them to the punch. Capitalist, blah, blah, blah. And they don't have laws on none of this shit because they're crazy Americans. So anyway, so they took it all away from us, and now we're all in there, and they're making fucking tons of money off of us, even though we think we're getting by, because the capitalists obviously are making more money than they could ever fucking dream of, because they're instead of paying $10, $15 to us, they're paying 15 cents an hour to them. So they're thinking they're getting away with everything. Then all of a sudden you see China's fucking GDP and all this shit keep going up, and you're going, wait a minute, what the fuck? They're lying. They're lying. You see their literacy rate skyrocketed 90% after the revolution when it was like 30%. And you're like, they're lying. They're lying. You see their approval rate for their fucking situation go through the roof, while ours is like 30%. They're lying. They're lying. You see them lift 850 million fucking people out of extreme poverty, and they're lying. And it's like, okay, well, what the fuck am I seeing then? Because it seems to me that they're doing something right. And when you don't even give a fuck, then you know it's ideology based, and they're just fucking gonna battle it down until they fucking kill each other. And that is dangerous for us. And that's why we need to just stop it. Find a new way. Find a new way. It's inevitable, right? I mean, this is the funny thing, right? We're still accumulating nukes. We already have enough nukes. It won't take anything. We got like 5,000 nukes or some shit like that. It won't take anything. It will take like a few of those to blow up the whole world. And we're still building more. Think about that.
Yeah, that's true. But they keep you preoccupied though. They want you doing TikToks and shit, man. Like that's the reality of it. All right. Even in those countries, all right.
Yeah.
Shit, J-pop, K-pop, that's a big thing.
What I find amazing, man, is when you look back in history, and then they lied about everything, Jesse. They flipped the whole fucking thing. What we did with the Russians in 1917 was we said that we have to go to war. That's why they were over there having a revolution to end their war, because they lost 3 million of their fucking people fighting on behalf of the Tsar. And they had a revolution because their people were so starving, so hurting, that they just fucking, they said, fuck it, we got to stop this war. So they did it. And right after that, we're over here. And this guy gives an anti-war speech, and we throw him in jail at the same fucking time. It's like, you go to jail, hard labor. You don't say that shit around here. You're disrespecting our national honor. You go back. Now you think about what you did while you're sitting in that cell for having that thought.
Hey,
how dare you say that we don't go to war?
Still almost became a president, right?
And the anti-war sentiment, right, exactly. And the anti-war sentiment was everywhere, bro. And we were acting like it wasn't. We were acting like the world, we had each other's back and we had to go, but the people didn't want to go, man. The people's never been wanting about the war, dude. That's not us. It's not who we fucking are, man.
That's true.
And that's the message, dude. But the movies and Hollywood and shit, dude, it gets these people pumped.
Oh,
it's the best kind of propaganda, dude.
Fucking love that game, right?
It's so true though, man.
How many fucking Call of Duties
and the Call of Duties and all that stuff. Good point. The video games.
Fuck.
And they play on our ego and our pride. Nationalism. It's crazy, man. Now that I think about it, I'm like, fuck. It's this book right here, dude. This is the next one after that. This is go right, piggyback right off the propaganda one, man. Super patriotism. And it's gonna be lovely.
You gotta think about it, man. I mean, the way things are now, we hand them control right now. We have given them like drones and shit. They can keep the population at bay. Like even if the soldiers were to help us. Realistically, like a lot of our troops would fucking that means a revolution.
Yeah.
That is the true revolution.
They would. It's happened before. Yeah. They got called in during the sit-down strikes in Cleveland, I believe it was.
What?
And they turned their guns back and protected the workers and said, "No, we're here for them. We're not here against them." I believe it was the Cleveland sit-down strike. It was one of those, Toledo or some shit. Huh?
How do you make that happen?
Yeah, I mean,
how do you make that happen?
You have a revolution, and then they're gonna call them in and say, "Bring in the soldiers, bring in the soldiers."
You have to actually
And then the soldiers are gonna be like, no, they're my family, man. They're gonna be like, hell no, man, I can't do that. I can't do that. That's what they're gonna do, man. They're gonna know we love them. We're doing it for them too. That's the message. We're doing it for you too, man. Shit, real talk, dude. I mean, what better way? That's the shortest way I could tell you, man. We're doing it for you too, bro.
Yeah, it's true.
I love you. You know, what do you want me to say? Shit.
Have our back.
Yeah, man. Have my back. Or shoot me.
That's what that flag's for, right?
That's it.
That's what it's supposed to be, freedom.
Yep. Trying to feed people, man. My revolution starts with the one that starts to feed the kids first. That's my fucking revolution. Right off the rip. Feed the kids. Everything else is next. And we'll educate, we'll grow. Shelter, we'll go. But feed the motherfuckers right now. Keep them living. Give them medicine. Let's go.
That requires housing.
Yeah. People talk about parenting and shit, and then they go, hey, no social welfare. And then it's like they don't even give social welfare anyway. I got that in my next. I'm not going to give that stat away. I'm not going to give this stat away, but I got a stat from Dr. Parenti. Holy shit about social welfare. We have been lied to big time. It's a nugget. I'll tell you after the show. It's a nugget. Dude, I mean, because everybody uses social welfare. They're like, but it's a dividing point. Because people that work are getting their wages suppressed. They're working harder and harder for less and less in this system. So when they see somebody getting free handouts, supposedly, right? Because that's what social welfare is. You think they're getting a free fucking meal ticket all the time because they're fucking lazy. That's what it is. Realistically, I have a stat for you. Oh, we all getting fucked, people. We all getting fucked. I'll just put it like that. It's bad. Lied to so bad. They lie to make you serve a purpose for them. So they can, they're sacrificing you, actually. Some people do die over fighting over politics. No doubt. No doubt. So it's crazy, man. Just remember who you really are, because I do believe in people. I do believe I believe that we're manipulated as we go. Just like a person that's abused or some shit, right? Like, you don't know what that person's been through. They could be traumatized a million different ways. Something as simple as being bit by a dog. Something as crazy as being, fucking dropped off a bridge by some fucking guy that kidnapped you and fucking killed you. All kinds of crazy shit, Shit.
Hey, man, most of that shit goes
spread
away
love.
if you bring some kind of motherfuckers back. Now, don't get it wrong. A lot of the motherfuckers have lost it. They're twisted. If you don't keep them busy, that's a problem. You
know what I found out, Jesse? Found out that we all are very special. And because we won the Womb-lympics. The Womb-lympics. The Womb-lympics.
What's that kind of?
The Womb-lympics is when you come, your sperm has 500 to 1.2 billion sperms racing. So straight out the penis, you're in a race, bro. You didn't even know it, but you won the Womb-lympics because you were the sperm that got to the egg first. So what happened is they skipped out on us, because nobody really caught this yet. I come along, and we all do our part. I'm catching it, though. But we all deserve a medal because we all won. So that makes us special. But see, now there's people around here that go around and talk about, I'm blessed. And bless their hearts. A lot of them get less and less and say, I'm blessed. And they count their blessings and all that stuff. And I get it, and good for you. But you ain't the only one that's fucking blessed. Those same people that won the Womb-lympics that just happened to live in Saudi Arabia or a place that we're bombing and fucking up, they're blessed too, because they won the fucking Womb-lympics too. And they fucking beat the odds, and they did that. But they just got a different fucking situation. So you're not as blessed as you are lucky. So that's where I think about things, and I'm like, yeah, we all blessed. We were all born, we're here. But you're lucky that you're born here. You're blessed because you were born.
I like that.
Keep that shit straight. Anyway, bro.
The Womb-lympics. Shit.
Yeah, man. On that, man, I'm gonna cut it out because I do gotta cut out of here a little bit early.
Konbanwa.
Yeah. Y'all. Nice talking with you. Have a good one.